And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe anywhere in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. So Dr. J, Julius Erving, has come out and once again disappointed the LeBron James fan base by leaving LeBron James not just off his first team list, but off his first, second, and third team list. LeBron James doesn't make it, and rightfully so. And I know the first thing you ridiculous LeBron James fanboys are going to say, oh, well, who is Julius Erving? Well, Julius Erving is a legend. One of the first high flyers in the NBA, known for his great rivalries with the Celtics against the great Larry Bird. Julius Erving is one of the greats who helped set the foundation that helped grow the league into a successful league that your king has spent the last 20 years tearing down, and probably ultimately is going to be responsible for the collapse of the NBA along with Adam Silver. So that's Julius Erving is someone that if you're a basketball fan, you should have great respect for. But we all know that LeBron James has ushered in the era of disrespect for your elders, for the basketball greats. But anyway, this article is coming from Basketball Network. It says Julius Erving leaves LeBron out of his all-time first, second, and third team. Quote, he is the guy that led the charge in terms of super teams being put together. Says Erving rips into James for handpicking his teammates. When Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James isn't in your top 5 players ever, you better have a good reason. And there are a plethora of reasons to not have LeBron James. To me, he shouldn't be in your top 5. To me, if LeBron James is in your top 5, you need to do some serious reevaluation about how you rank players. But to me, he shouldn't be in your top 10. Anyone who doesn't have him in the top 20, 30, there's arguments for all of that. For the simple fact that once you are known as someone who cheats the game, well, then it's a good argument that you shouldn't be ranked at all. And LeBron James has indeed done that. But anyway, let's get back to this. It says, you better have a good reason. While most people would justify the exclusion based on finals losses, valid, and a subjectively softer era, also valid, Hall of Famer Julius Erving's reasoning is based on handpicking his teammates and creating super teams, also valid. Many people would argue that it may not be a solid enough justification, and by many people, LeBron James fanboys, those are the people who don't think that's a good justification. Says, let me start that over. It says, many would argue that it may not be a solid enough justification not to have James at least top 3 all time, but Dr. J is doubling down on his stance that it matters in the grand scheme of player rankings. Of course it does. Leaving LeBron out. The Philadelphia 76ers legend doesn't usually involve himself in controversial takes, but when speaking on the all-time greats that would make up his first, second, and third teams in league history, he went out of his way to elaborate on why LeBron didn't make the cut. Quote, my first team is Oscar Robertson and Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Elgin Baylor. That second team is Magic, Michael, Larry, Karl Malone, Kareem, Abdul-Jabbar. Those guys would be my second team. And a lot of people would argue that guys like LeBron would be on my third team. When you look at LeBron and everybody that sort of picked to be his teammates, so you know, playing with so many guys, he is the guy that led the charge in terms of super teams being put together. When he put a team together in Miami, he put a team together in Cleveland as well, and a team in Los Angeles, so he could pick his own team, he said. Okay, now here we go with the BS. It says a touch of jealousy. Maybe Urban feels some sort of way given he retired with just a single championship. You could argue that LeBron James, 4 championships really only total a single championship. Says maybe Urban feels some sort of way given he retired with just a single championship ring next to his name, despite being a generational talent, while watching other all-time greats collect multiple on his watch. Or perhaps it was the lack of star power he played alongside. Moses Malone is widely considered his most talented teammate, and Moses Malone was a great player, but he is perilous in comparison to other legendary forwards his contemporaries had the pleasure of playing with. In this case, it would be understandable why Irvin may have some personal resentment towards LeBron. The King has played alongside an embarrassment of riches en route to 4 NBA titles and has often had a say on who he teamed up with. So, yeah, you see where we're going. First of all, to this, whoever wrote this article is obviously part of the LeBron James fanboyism. For the simple fact, again, just because someone doesn't agree that LeBron James is a top 10, top 20 player does not make them a hater. When you say he got to handpick his teammates, that is a very, very valid reason to not have someone ranked amongst the players who didn't get to do that. As a matter of fact, I would say this: because LeBron James got to pick his teammates, he's still an epic failure. You were only able to hold up. Let's break this down. The so-called greatest player in the history of the game, according to LeBron James delusional fanboys who like to sit in their basement and watch my videos and cry every time they hear the truth. According to LeBron James fanboys, the so-called greatest player to ever play the game, the so-called person who has supposedly dominated the NBA for so many years, got to handpick his team more than any other player and only came up with 4 championships? Is that what you fanboys are telling me? Is that what you are telling? Is that who you're telling me is the greatest player of all time? Let's add on top of the fact that they keep telling us, oh, he's bigger, stronger, and faster. So he's the greatest player to ever play the game. He's bigger, stronger, and faster. He got to handpick teams, and he only came up with 4 championships, fanboys. Surely that has to seem ridiculous even to you. I know it doesn't, because what could seem ridiculous to you if you indeed yourself are ridiculous? And that is the case with you guys. But for normal people with normal ability to think rationally, to think logically, that makes no sense whatsoever. And on top of only having 4 championships, he lost in the finals 6 times. The so-called greatest player to ever play the game, according to you guys. That makes no sense. And I think this is very fair that Julius Erving doesn't have him on his first, second, or third team. And it is rational to feel that way about it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can talk about some of the great teams of the past. You can talk about the Celtics and the Lakers. Both of those teams had multiple Hall of Famers on it, and they dominated that era. And you could say, yeah, sure, maybe they dominated because they had such great talent, or maybe they dominated because they had two star players who got the most out of the talent that they had. Maybe their two-star players, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, got the most out of the players that they had. Maybe Larry Bird got the most out of Dennis Johnson and McHale and Parrish and Ainge and those guys. Maybe Magic Johnson got the most out of Worthy and AC Green and Sam Perkins and those guys, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Not that Kareem is the exception because Kareem himself is in the GOAT conversation. But what I'm saying is these guys maximized what they had, and these were not hand-picked teams. That makes a difference. But LeBron James, you got to say, hey, I want to go to Miami with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You got to say that. And then once you made that happen, and again, in a despicable way that is noteworthy, because to me, that also goes into your character. When you got your way, you personally felt that you had done something fantastic. You thought to yourself, oh, I've put together this team, and there's no way we're not going to win multiple championships. And then two things happen. You have the worst series ever by a so-called superstar in 2011, while simultaneously giving Dirk Nowitzki one of the greatest upsets that nobody talks about, because the only way it gets talked about is from the perspective of how terrible it was for LeBron. But Dirk Nowitzki beat a super team. Dirk Nowitzki beat the first hand-picked super team, all while the Dallas Mavericks are the second oldest team to win an NBA championship. That's right, fanboys. If you want to go and look at my video, I did that video probably about a year ago now, where I exposed your king, because you fanboys always like to talk about how Michael Jordan didn't win till the Pistons got old, which is false. How Michael Jordan didn't win till the Lakers got old, which is false. And Michael Jordan's last championship, the Chicago Bulls were the oldest team to win a championship. But hey, no worries, fanboys, because your king got beat by the second oldest team to win a championship. Not only did they get beat by the second oldest team to win a championship, but your king got beat with a super team, with a hand-picked super team. So more respect needs to be put on Dirk's name for accomplishing that. So back to what I was saying. Your king, not only after all of that, he has the 2011 meltdown, but they also only get 2 championships out the deal. Hand-picked talent. And then years later, we have to watch this ridiculous fool and his podcast partner, It's Just a Game podcast, and we have to watch him make an excuse for 2011 by saying, oh, well, we were top heavy. It was me, Chris Bosh, and Wade, but, the rest of the team was minimum guys. It's like this guy literally wants to pick every single player from the starting 5 to every member of the bench. Let's see, get me, myself, D Wade. If we can get Giannis, that would be great. Let's see, can we get Anthony Edwards now? And let's see who we're gonna put on the bench. let's put Dame Lillard on the bench, and can we put Kevin Durant on the bench? We're gonna put him on the bench since he torched me in those finals. But yeah, so the fact that LeBron James had a hand-picked super team is a very good reason for older players, for the older legends, to have him ranked a lot lower. When you get to control your destiny and you only have 4 championships and you have 6 finals losses and you're constantly making excuses every single season, that is more than a great reason to not have LeBron James on your first, second, or third team. Round of applause for the great Julius Erving, everybody. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Fanboys, you don't have to let us know what you think. First of all, you can't think. And so whatever comes out is not going to be worthy of taking the time to listen to, even though I know you're going to type it up in the comments. But let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of Julius Erving leaving LeBron off first, second, and third team? Is there any of you out there that feels like LeBron James should at least be on the third team? That's not me, though. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.